Or download the app and listen for updates on 103.3 WPKY.
The season's on the line.
As Fredonia Valley Bank gives our senior athletes a special moment to shine.
Bollinger Real Estate and Auction has made it their mission to build strong relationships in Caldwell County. If an auction is something necessary in your future, allow the Bollinger team to help you.
Your Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. We have an overnight low of 56 with partly cloudy skies. By this afternoon, sunny and a high of 83. Breezy south-southwest winds could be as high as 30 miles an hour. A fire weather watch in effect from 11 until 7 as well, as conditions are deemed favorable for wildfires by the National Weather Service. By Thursday night, there's a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, but that's going to be well after midnight, increasing cloud cover with a low of 57. Then on Friday, that chance of showers and thunderstorms definitely escalates, high of 69. And a south-southwest wind that could be as high as 20 miles an hour. But back to this evening, partly cloudy, low of 56. By this afternoon, sunny and 83.
Need cash fast? Contact ABC Finance now.
Are you concerned about your current financial situation?
At ABC Finance, we can help.
Hi, this is Savannah Seymour at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
At ABC Finance, we don't just provide loans, but we also provide valuable advice to help you get your credit in better standing.
Our friendly team of professionals has your best interest in mind, and we celebrate with you whenever your finances improve.
We encourage you to like our Facebook page, ABC Finance. Many of those useful tips are posted daily on our page, including tons of community info and motivation for the day.
Who couldn't use that? You can also visit us at abcfinanceonline.com, where you can even apply for loans online.
Or just give us a call and we can take your application over the phone. Or stop by. No appointment is needed and walk-ins are welcome.
All loans subject to normal credit approval.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the Sideline Report. We are on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton today, and a big show lined up for everyone. In a matter of minutes, we're going to be talking with Luther Bramblett, a former Caldwell County Tiger who is now the baseball head coach at Midway University. Also coming up a little bit later on the show today, Ed Marlowe from the Edge Media Group will be here to talk about a whole lot of different things, so you'll want to stick around for that. Softball action coming up here on WPKY this afternoon. We'll have the Lady Tigers and Graves County from Lady Tiger Field. It's senior day for the Lady Tigers. Our broadcast begins immediately following the 5 o'clock newscast today. Again, Lady Tigers and Graves County today. And then coming up on Friday, if the weather permits, we'll have the Caldwell County Tiger All-A Classic sectional game at Paducah St. Mary on the air for you on Friday. Game time today, 6 o'clock. Game time on Friday, 6 o'clock. So be sure and join us following the 5 o'clock news the next 2 days for Lady Tiger softball today and then Tiger baseball coming up for you tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll be back with more here on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
When you're at the Salvation Army, there is a church literally right across the street. What do I look like not going to church, and volunteering and doing stuff and helping? And they've brought me such a peace and calming, they've helped me in many ways.
Hosting one person, one night at the Hopkinsville Salvation Army, $30. Helping Thomas get back on his feet, priceless. Search Salvation Army Hopkinsville on Facebook.
At Trilogy Performance Sports, they believe in only the highest standards of physical fitness training. Their staff members are actively enriching the lives of their members and creating a community of like-minded people. And getting you in shape is their #1 goal. They have everything you need: knowledge, experience, and equipment. They find out what's important to you and design a customized plan that fits your needs. Learn more at trilogyperformancesports.com.
Timeout. All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. Brought to you by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky Athletic Administrators Association.
Life is busy. We get it. That's why at First Southern National Bank, we are launching a new experience for customers. Our drive-thrus are being replaced with full-access banking lanes that utilize new technology to give you greater convenience. You can now do almost everything you could do inside the bank or at the ATM, all from your car. Tellers are available via video to assist you if needed, and bank services now have extended hours. Learn more at fsnb.net. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey folks, this is Rodney Humes at Humes Jewelers. Want to invite you out to our new ear piercing studio. At Humes Jewelers, we've started piercing ears again like we have for over 30 years. We have a really cute new studio set up. You can't miss it when you walk in the store. It's the first thing you see to your right, and you will miss all the teddy bears. So if you want to have your ears pierced for the first time, or if you're getting your second holes done, we've got all kinds of areas to pick from. We have been 14 karat gold, surgical steel, and surgical steel that have been gold plated. These are all by the Inverness piercing system, pre-sterilized, so it should be a lot of fun. Kids love it. We have teddy bears everywhere. There's even a teddy bear named Ruby that the kids can hold and hug while they're getting their ears pierced. We've got mirrors. You can take pictures. It's like a family event. So we invite you out to Humes Jewelers. If you want to call ahead and make sure someone's going to be here, but we're piercing most afternoons and on Saturday at Humes Jewelers on the Boulevard in Hopkinsville.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, thanks a lot for tuning in this morning. We're joined now on the telephone by Midway University baseball head coach Luther Bramblett. And Luther, good morning. Thanks for coming on the show. And how are things there in the Eastern time zone this morning?
Nice and sunny and warm, Todd. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, excellent. It's always a great day for some baseball. You guys have a game coming up today, or you have the day off?
We are off today. We'll practice. We're supposed to play tomorrow, but I think the rain's going to mess that up, so we'll probably have to move our weekend series to Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, we've got a big high school baseball game coming up Friday, the All-A sectional between Caldwell County and Paducah St. Mary, and I'm afraid that's going to fall victim to the rain also.
Yep. Are they going to move it up, or?
Well, if it rains Friday, we're going to try to play it on Monday.
Okay. Well, that might help you out pitching-wise.
Yeah, and then
since you played Madisonville today.
Yeah, then the Tigers win that one. They're headed to Campbellsville for the state tournament.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, did you get a chance to see the Tigers' big win last week, how they beat Crittenden County for the second region All-A championship?
Well, I saw the score and went back and looked online and found out that they scored a bunch in a short amount of time there to pull it off. That's awesome.
Yeah, 14 runs in the top of the seventh. Never seen anything like it in my life.
That's unbelievable.
You know, I've been trying to think what compares to that. What kind of comeback have I seen before? And I know in the 1998 state football championship game, we were down 14-0 and came back and won that game. But I can't recall anything that approaches scoring 14 runs. They were down 11-2, and by the time the inning was over, they were up 16-11.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. Last year we were playing number 1 Georgia Gwinnett at third place, and they were beating the brakes off of us. I think they were beating us 18-0, and in the top of the ninth inning, or seventh inning, we scored 16 runs.
Wow.
And had the tying run at second base and the winning run at first base, or tying run at third or second base and the winning run at first base when the game ended. So we didn't win, but to score that many runs, it's crazy.
Well, it's true what they say in baseball, you know.
When it gets going, man, it's tough for the other team to stop.
Yeah, it's true what they say in baseball, though. As long as you have an out left, you still have a chance.
You never know, man. You never know. That's why you play to the final out.
Well, I think the other night,
baseball, Todd.
Yeah, I think the other night Crittenden County just flat ran out of pitching. You know, they played 3 games in 4 days, and they'd used up everything they had. And the kid that started pitched really well, but he was at 114 pitches. He really couldn't continue, and they just didn't have any pitching. And, you saw that in the last inning, 9 walks, a hit batter. They made a couple of errors that were big, and the next thing you know, Caldwell County's coming back to win that game.
Crazy. I bet it was exciting.
Yes, I can't compare it to anything right now that I can think of. I mean, I've seen some great games, but not a big comeback like that. How's your team playing? I see you guys are in first place.
We are playing pretty well overall. We are currently in first place. We're tied with Point Park out of Pittsburgh, but we beat them last weekend, 2 out of 3, so we hold the tiebreaker on them. We've got IU Southeast, who is a game behind us this weekend, and they're playing extremely well. They've been kind of the top dog in our conference basically since I've been here. It's been them and Point Park. So we're kind of in uncharted waters right now. Finally in the hunt after 7 years of starting the program. So it's going to be a very, very, very tough weekend for us on the road at IU Southeast. But if we could win that series and hold on and win next weekend, we have a chance to win the conference regular season title and qualify for the NAI National Tournament. So that would be awesome.
Well, and you guys play in the River States Conference. What kind of road trips do you have there?
Well, in Kentucky, we've got us, Brescia in Owensboro, and Alice Lloyd College in Pipapassus in eastern Kentucky. Those are the 3 Kentucky schools. And then in Indiana, we have Oakland City just north of Evansville, IU Purdue University at Columbus is getting into our league next year in Columbus, Indiana. You've got Indiana Southeast, just north of Louisville and New Albany. IU Kokomo, obviously in Kokomo, Indiana. And then in Ohio, we have Rio Grande University and Shawnee State University in the southern portion of Ohio. And we've got West Virginia Tech, obviously in West Virginia, then Point Park University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So it's a pretty large footprint. I think the farthest trip for us is Point Park, which is about 5.5, 6 hour trip for us. But the majority of the others where we're located, we're pretty centrally located within our conference. So every other trip is 3 hours at the most.
Yeah, and for people that maybe aren't completely familiar with college baseball, you guys typically play 3-game series against everyone, right?
Yes, we do. We play typically if weather is good, we'll play a single 9-inning game on Friday, and then we'll play a 9-inning game on Saturday, followed by a 7-inning game. So 3-game series.
Now, did I see that for the first time ever, you guys are receiving votes this week in the NAIA Top 25?
Yes, sir. You've seen that since we slid into first place after last weekend. I guess they gave us a little bit of clout. So we were fortunate to receive some votes. I think we received 9 votes for the Top 25 poll. So for the first time in school history, we're getting some love, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, you have to be pretty proud about that, though, because, I mean, you've basically built that Midway University baseball program.
It's been, each year that we've talked, I've talked about the roller coaster that it's been, and it's definitely fulfilling to see, we've got good players, got great kids, and they're finally being recognized, and that's just part of the process and the step to building the program like we want it to be. So,
how many years? Yeah, how many years now do you have in coaching? Because you were at St. Catherine for a long time.
I was at St. Catherine for 15 years as the head coach there, and then this is the 7th year as the head coach here. So I guess that's 22 years as the head coach, and prior to that, I was an assistant coach for 7 years. 1 year I got out, living there in Princeton, and was doing some bird dog scouting for the Rockies. So I guess overall it's 29 years coaching.
Yeah, that's a heck of a run right there.
Yeah, I'm old, Todd.
I can relate, man. You know, sometimes I look back and see how long I've been covering sports, and I'm like, I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, we've been doing this a long time, man.
You know, we honored the 1998 state runner-up softball team last Saturday at Lady Tiger Field, and it was difficult to believe it had been 25 years since that happened.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
We're talking this morning with Midway University baseball head coach Luther Bramblett. He's a former Caldwell County Tiger. And Luther, do you get to keep up a whole lot with Caldwell County sports now since you're, like I said, in the Eastern time zone now?
I do, and I try to watch football games on Friday nights when they're online, and then of course I've watched a few basketball games. It's obviously tough for me to follow baseball wise, other than what you guys post, you know, on social media and stuff, and then me getting on the KHSAA website and checking them each day, keeping up with the stats and how they're doing and all that good stuff. Glad to see Josh doing well in his first year, and obviously happy to see Bo Bradley back helping. That warms my soul. So. Yeah, I try to keep up best I can.
Well, and you've got a former Tiger still on your roster up there.
Yes, got John Davis, who's having a good year for us right now. He went through senior day with us this past weekend. He still has another year of eligibility. He's not 100% sure if he's gonna take that and start his master's, but he is graduating with above a 3.0 with business administration degree, so we're definitely proud of that. But he's thrown in 9 games for us this year. He's primarily been out of the pen for us. He has started one game, a midweek game, and went 2 or 3 innings and threw well. Can't remember who that was against, but you know, he's made the transition from being what we call a dually. He was, you know, his first couple of years he was taking BP and ground balls and played some at third and might even played at second at some point in time, his first freshman or sophomore year, but he's now just a pitcher only for us. His arm's in a lot better shape now, and he's picked up a little bit of velocity, and he's had a good 4 years with us, man. I've enjoyed having him, and he's a great kid, comes from a great family, obviously, and I think he's in the top 10 in our record book for career appearances. So he's had a good career.
Where are you guys at in your season right now, and how close are you to the conference tournament?
We are 2 weeks out from the conference tournament. We've got IU Southeast this weekend, and then we finish up at Alice Lloyd next weekend for the final conference series. And then that following week, Derby weekend, will be our conference tournament in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Okay. Going back to your roster for just a second, and you know, the way you go about recruiting and putting a roster together, do you find that the COVID year is still kind of having an effect on the way you kind of put your team together?
100%. Yeah, we've got you know, kind of like John. I mean, he's graduating, but he's got another year of eligibility. If he wanted to use it. I've got several kids that have come from the junior college ranks, a bunch of Kentucky junior college kids that are sophomores, but this is their third year playing, so they've still got another 2 years to play with us because of the COVID stuff. I'll have 22, 23, 24-year-olds playing for me, so it becomes a little more difficult for an incoming freshman to compete with, you know, kids that are 5 and 6 years older than them.
Well, that was
sense to you.
Yeah, that was kind of the whole point, though, when they gave everyone the additional COVID year. I mean, I understand they were trying to be fair to the people who lost a year, but at some point it seems like you're just kind of kicking the can down the road, and every class after that just has more people to deal with when they come in.
100%. And at the junior college level, they kicked the can for 2 years.
Yeah.
So those 2 years, they played 2 years of junior college ball and didn't use any eligibility whatsoever. And the NCAA and the NAI, which we're in, honored that. So kids are going to be actually playing for like 6 years. So that definitely takes takes a toll on a true, high school kid coming into college athletics.
Oh, for sure.
So,
saw some pictures of your field on social media the other day. You got that thing looking great, and I know that you had a big hand in putting your facilities together there at Midway.
It is in very good shape. We're definitely blessed to have the facility that we have here, and I think it's definitely helped us in recruiting. Obviously our location is really good, being just outside of Lexington, but I'll put our facility up against most. It's a natural grass facility, and a lot of schools are going to the turf. And if I were being honest, I would probably, as much as I love grass, I would probably put turf down as soon as possible if I had that option, just for the practicality of it and the practice and playing and never have to worry about anything. But we do have a very nice facility, and we're definitely proud of it, and kids enjoy playing here and playing on it. So
yeah, it looks nice. While I've got you, I've got to ask you, what's kind of your take on some of the changes that Major League Baseball has done, and what kind of changes have you seen in college baseball since you started coaching?
Well, we've got. I know the big buzz thing is the pitch clock and hitter clock and all that type of stuff. We're actually have implemented that at the college level this year, and to be honest with you, I like it. We really haven't had an issue with it as far as our guys being called for a ball or a strike or anything like that. It has worked towards our favor more than anything. But it has, in all honesty, sped the game up. And our pitchers now get the ball, get on the dirt, and throw. Our hitters stay in the box and hit. All that moving around, adjusting batting gloves, and all that type of stuff, drawing pitchers in the dirt, all that stuff is kind of gone away, and the game has kind of moved a lot quicker. I mean, we're playing 9-inning games in 2:15, 2:30.
Well, that's the way they used to play them.
Would be 3+ hour games.
Yeah, they used to play 9-inning games, the majors, in 2 hours plus, but somehow it gotten away from that.
Well, it's the commercials, man, and it's the money, and
yeah.
they're blaming it on all the time in between innings and pitches and all that type of stuff and bullpen changes, which I don't agree with. It's the commercialization of all the networks and all that type of stuff and the money they have to make, and which you're going to get me down a rabbit hole here, but it's all about money at that level, and they're trying to save face and blame it on the players and the speed of the game and all that type of stuff. They should just let baseball be baseball at that level. The true fans of baseball are going to sit in the stadium and watch, and they're going to watch it on TV. I know they're trying to attract a different market, but I don't think you change the game by doing that. So,
yeah, we could do an entire show on that.
Oh yeah, stop blacking out. I mean, I can't even watch the Reds up here because I'm so close to them, and I'm sure it's the same way in your all's area with the Cardinals.
Yeah,
you can't even get the games on TV because they black it out.
Yeah, Major League blackout rules don't make any sense.
No, none, and it's all about money and all that type of stuff. And like I said, they're just trying to speed the game up by doing whatever they can and blaming it on players instead of blaming it on the real reason. So,
well, Luther, I appreciate you coming on the show today and being with us and talking baseball with us. And maybe we can have you on again in a couple of weeks when you guys get to tournament time, and we'll talk about some of this Major League Baseball stuff a little bit more.
Sounds good, Tom. Man, I appreciate you having me, and go Tigers, go Eagles.
Hey, you guys stay in first place.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Luther.
Take care, man.
That's Luther Bramlett, former Caldwell County Tiger. He's the baseball head coach at Midway University now. Stay with us. We'll come back and have more on the Sideline Report. We're going to talk a little bit later on with Ed Marlowe from the Edge Media Group, so stay with us as we roll on here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Cadiz Tree County Tourism invites you to visit Cadiz soon and often. We have great places to shop, eat, and enjoy. Find out more at gocadiz.com or on Facebook.
Your Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. We have overnight lows of 56 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Then by this afternoon, sunny skies, high of 83, a south-southwest wind that could be as high as 30 miles an hour. That brings about a fire weather watch from the National Weather Service from 11 until 7 this evening, as conditions are favorable for a wildfire. Then by Thursday night, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially well after midnight going into early Friday, increasing cloud cover and a low of 57. But back to this evening, we've got a low of 56, and by this afternoon, sunny and 83.
Hello, I'm Sheila Gates with Farmers Bank. Is your money working hard or hardly working? With a Farmers Bank certificate deposit, you get a safe investment with a predictable return on your hard-earned dollars. Call today and see how we can make rising interest rates a good thing for your bottom line. For a limited time only, ask about our new money promotion that gives you an even higher rate. Farmers Bank, live unique, bank unique, member FDIC. Terms apply.
This is Kevin Meacham from H&R Agrifire. When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustment, and quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months or save $300.
Now through June 30th, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer. Test drive one today at H&R AgriPower, 4900 Eagle Way, Hopkinsville.
At YourSportsEdge.com, we strive every day to continue to bring you the gold standard in high school sports coverage with more on your teams and your players.
Where did it show up there?
And while they are not gold, those crystal awards we have won for doing what we love to do are pretty cool too.
It's something we see every day.
The Kentucky Broadcasters Best Digital Product Award winner.
Ball game over.
YourSportsEdge.com.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, thanks a lot to Midway University baseball head coach Luther Bramblett for coming on the show this morning and talking some baseball with us. Joining us now on the show from the Edge Media Group, it's Ed Marlowe. Ed, you're in the Central Time Zone this morning, but thanks for coming on the show. How are things going where you're at?
Oh, it's going great. God bless the Central Time Zone. I've always said, and I'll say it here, I'll say it live, that the Central Time Zone is God's time zone because it is absolutely perfect. Everything that happens around the world, we're here to see it in the Central Time. And I know that none of that statement makes sense because time is just going to continue to happen. But I've always said that if you're going to live in the United States, the Central Time Zone is the best. You got the early morning on the West Coast, you got the late day on the East Coast, and we get to know everything in between. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, you know what used to bother me was always the UK football and basketball network, because when they would give game times, they would always give them as Eastern times, but they would not identify them as Eastern times. They'll say the Cats will be playing Wednesday night at 7:30. Well, if you're in the Central Time Zone, it's kind of up to you to figure out, wait, do they mean Eastern time? Do they mean Central time?
Correct.
So
right.
how hard is it to say Eastern time?
My biggest issue, too, is ESPN's app does the same thing. You'll look at the time and you're just like, wait, when is like, where are you listing it? And I understand the mothership is in the Eastern Time Zone, so I often think that that's probably the main time.
Right.
But I've always said that if you're going to be a sports reporter in the United States, your best time to live would be the West Coast, because then you could jam pack any sort of coverage you have, be it newspaper, television, radio, with everything that's happened across the country.
Right.
You know, as New York is going to bed, Los Angeles is just now waking up for the nighttime party. So, you know, those are the types of things. Plus, any sort of late deadlines you might have for something like a Super Bowl or a national championship, you don't necessarily have to worry about.
Right. Well, since we were talking baseball with Coach Bramblett earlier, let's start with some baseball. And, of course, big news today. Looks like the A's are headed out of Oakland.
Yeah, man, I'm a huge Cincinnati Reds fan, and I love Major League Baseball. But, you know, we all fell in love with the small ball, money ball story that came out of Oakland. in the late 90s and early 2000s and on. And it seemed like a model that at least every other year was working. You would develop young talent, get guys to, some, I guess, what you would consider to be washed up vets that maybe got on base to come and help, wrap around the young guys that they were developing in minor leagues. And then they'd go on runs. And then you take a look at what Oakland did this past couple of years and basically eviscerated their own roster by farming it out to everyone else. And now this is where you are. And Oakland, it looks like, apparently, this is according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal about 30 minutes ago, and really late last night, about midnight, but it really came to light more this morning. The Oakland Athletics have zeroed in on Southern Nevada, signing a binding purchase agreement for land just west of the Strip of Vegas, where a major league ballpark could be constructed. They're looking at spending $1 billion and just moving the team. So, man, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like Oakland is just such a legendary place to have a team, and now it seems like in the next 5 to 10 years it's not going to be there.
But if you look back through history, the Athletics have always been on the move. Philadelphia, Kansas City, Oakland, Las Vegas now. I was kind of hoping they were headed to Nashville.
Well, and so that's the thing. Nashville has built a commission to try and get a team there. And I tell you, two cities I would love to see get a professional team. Nashville's one of them, getting a baseball team. And I'd love for, right, I missed the Montreal Expos. That would have been amazing, if they'd been able to stick around instead of, didn't they move to Tampa? That's what Tampa did, right? Pretty much that shift. The
Expos, the Expos ended up in Washington. They're the Nationals, yeah.
That's right. That was that expansion. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if we're going to expand, I totally agree with baseball going to Nashville. But I guess, Vegas is where a lot of the money is. But again, I'm going to repeat it, and it's worth Googling. People really should look into the fact that Nashville is making a hard push and is exploring very seriously about trying to make that bid for an expansion team. And who knows? What do you think, Todd? Do you think since this Vegas team is going to show up out of Oakland, do you think baseball should expand? What happens if you add 2 more teams?
Yeah, the commissioner keeps saying that they have to take care of the athletic situation and the Rays situation before they can expand. I think the Rays may end up in Montreal. They may end up in Nashville. But I think when they do get around to expansion, I think Nashville has about a 90% chance of being one of the cities that gets chosen.
See, it's wild to me that the Rays continue to be in this conversation when you look at their roster and you look at how they started out this season. Now, obviously, they weren't going to be able to ride 13-0, 14-0 for the rest of the year, but they have a good team. They have a good pitching staff. They've got a good offense. They clearly can win baseball games. I'm actually somewhat baffled that Tampa has to battle poor attendance. It's kind of odd to me. What else are the people of Tampa doing? You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Great. That's 9, 8, 9, 10 football games a year, maybe more if you make the playoffs. You've got the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, that's hockey. What are Tampa? Are they Bayers, Tampans? What are
I'm
Tampa
not sure.
Bayans?
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Tampa Bayans. What are the Tampa Bayans doing by not going and watching baseball? You got former St. Louis Cardinal Randy Arozarena absolutely raking down there. You've got a ton of talent wrapped around him. I don't know. I just don't. I can't figure that one out. Before that, you had Evan Longoria, in his heyday, playing for Tampa Bay and winning. This is a team that consistently wins 85, 90, 95, 100 games. They contend. I just can't figure it out. But if they move to Nashville, that's great for us. We love baseball.
Yeah,
here in Kentucky.
I think eventually you're looking at 32 teams in Major League Baseball. I think Nashville will be one of them. But I think with the teams that are around this area, you look at the Reds and the Cardinals and the Braves, I think any team that ends up in Nashville has to be an American League team.
I totally agree. And speaking on that, I said earlier, another city that would be really good for some sort of professional expansion. I think Louisville deserves an NBA team. I was talking about this with some friends yesterday. The NBA continues to talk about, Adam Silver and company continues to talk about how, from an expansion standpoint, they're really, kind of thinking that that's a possibility over the next 5 to 10 years. Two cities that I would like to see expand for NBA teams. I'd like to see Seattle return to the NBA fold as either the Sonics or as a new iteration of the former Sonics, and Louisville. I think Louisville deserves an NBA team. You're a top 15 market. You're a top 20 city in population size, top 10 almost if you count all of the outside jurisdiction. And Kentucky's a basketball-hungry state that's next to another basketball-hungry state in Indiana, that's next to another basketball-hungry state in Ohio and Illinois. So I feel like Louisville and Seattle would be great expansion teams for the NBA. I know that they'll probably explore different sexier venues like a Vegas, like even a Mexico City if they want to take the product international. But, relaying that back to baseball, that's why I think going back to Montreal would be fun. We get a ton of Canadian baseball players in the league. We also get a lot of Dominicans and a lot of South American players. Now we're starting to get more Japan players. I would love to see the game go international, but I also selfishly would love a team in Nashville because then it means it's a 90-minute drive from a Your News Edge studio.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
that would be a dream come true. And I say these things, and I love going to Busch. I'm going to Busch the second weekend of June for a game between Cincinnati and St. Louis, courtesy of the retired Neil Bradley. Tickets to that series. So I'm looking forward to it. But it's just, it's just one of those things where the expansion, it's fun to talk about, but selfishly, I would love to, I say these things. St. Louis is not that far to go for baseball. But if we had even another opportunity for baseball to be nearby, it'd be a win-win for everybody involved.
Yeah, Nashville is a lot closer.
Oh, absolutely. And Nashville, you get the same kind of experience as you would with St. Louis. You're right about it being a little closer. St. Louis is fun. I may not be a Cardinal fan, but every time I go to Busch Stadium and the surrounding, a platform that it has with all of the different dressings that go around the stadium, I love visiting St. Louis, and I love that stadium. There's not a bad seat in the house.
We're talking this morning with Ed Marlowe of the Edge Media Group. We need to get to a timeout here on the Sideline Report, but we'll come back and talk more right after this. Stay with us here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
At Little River Vet Clinic, Doctors Todd and Joanna Freeman have the experience to take care of your small and large animals. Follow Little River Vet Clinic on Facebook and find them on Glenwood Mill Road in Cadiz.
Your Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. We have an overnight low of 56 with partly cloudy skies. By this afternoon, sunny and a high of 83. Breezy south-southwest winds could be as high as 30 miles an hour. A fire weather watch in effect from 11 until 7 as well, as conditions are deemed favorable for wildfires by the National Weather Service. By Thursday night, there's a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, but that's going to be well after midnight, increasing cloud cover with a low of 57. Then on Friday, that chance of showers and thunderstorms definitely escalates, high of 69. And a south-southwest wind that could be as high as 20 miles an hour. But back to this evening, partly cloudy, low of 56. By this afternoon, sunny and 83.
At Trice Hughes, they're ordering it your way. How would you like to have a vehicle built just for you? Little things are important, like rich colors, big screens and displays, almost like watching TV. Exteriors with beautiful style and powerful engines that respond to the lightest touch on the accelerator. It's time to get what you want. Order your new ride and feel the thrill when you drive off the lot. Trice Hughes in Princeton is the one-stop shop for everything your vehicle needs. For more information, visit TriceHughes.com. That's TriceHughes.com.
Come by The Joint in Eddyville for mouth-watering smoked meats and flavorful sides, now with a brand new look. They've remodeled the interior to give you an even better experience and can't wait for you to see it. Stop by Tuesday through Sunday and enjoy the same great food and service you have grown accustomed to. Find The Joint online for more information and to book their catering services. The Joint is the perfect spot for a quick lunch or a fun night out. Come see for yourself. They can't wait to serve you.
We believe you want to make wise financial decisions and live generously. At First Southern National Bank, we are making that even easier. Banking should be convenient for you and your schedule. With our new ITMs, a video teller is available to assist you with almost everything you could do inside a bank or at an ATM. You don't have to get out of your car, and the ITMs will offer extended hours, making it easier to deposit checks, withdraw cash, and more. Learn more about ITMs at fsnb.net. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, and we appreciate you tuning in this morning. Ed Marlowe of the Edge Media Group is with us. And Ed, you mentioned before we went to break, Neil Bradley, the voice of Racer Sports at Murray State University. And one of the things I was going to ask you about is that Neil has stepped down as the play-by-play guy for Racer basketball, but he's going to stick around and do football this season.
Yes, absolutely, Neil. Yes, Neil, but yes, Todd. He's definitely doing that. And I strongly suggest I'm going to tell him that I'm suggesting this, but you should get him on, man. He's just got a wealth of knowledge and information. Get him on the show. And I know there's a lot of there's Racer fans in Caldwell County and Christian County and Trigg County, and a lot of people that tune into games when they can't make it to the CFSB Center. And I mean, you got to think about it, Todd. 32 years of men's basketball that he's covered. He's covered more than 1,000 wins. I know a frequent visitor of the radio show, Dave Winder, broke down a lot of the statistics earlier this week when Neil announced, and had a podcast too as well on GoRacers.com. But you think about what all Neil got to see in the last 30 years, 3 decades of men's basketball. His first season was 91-92. With Scott Edgar, that was Popeye Jones' senior year. Scott Sibbles was a junior that season. The big driver backed up Popeye, and they had a pretty solid year that year, and it just went on from there. And Neil was a fan even prior to that. But you take a look at just the amount of successful basketball. I mean, 70% of Murray State's games were wins over that 30-year stretch. Almost 70%. It's like a shade less. Maybe it's like 68%, 69%. But the amount of success that he got to call and see, not just John Morant. John Morant might be the most recent, success, but even 2 years ago, the 31-3 team. I mean, absolutely unbelievable, the last season from Mac McMahon and that staff, and that was Tevin Brown and KJ Williams. KJ Williams, of course, was, second team All-SEC this year as a graduate transfer to LSU with Matt McMahon. So that's just the most recent success he got to see. Prior to that, I mean, you've got Tavester Anderson and Gottfried and, Mick Cronin and, Billy Kennedy. And it just, we can go on and on and on. I mean, Isaiah Cannon, he got to call the first 23 wins of 2011-12. And, 6 of the guys that he called have jerseys retired in the CFSB Center. So I could go on and on about all of the success that Neil got to call, but it's his call that brought that gravity and that comfort to anybody that couldn't make the games. And I started really deeply, intently watching Murray State men's basketball in the 2009-2010 season. I had just taken a break from college and was, definitely starting to get more wrapped into local sports at that point. Then later would be on the sideline with him, for 6 or 7 years before, other avenues took their paths, in my career. So Neil has always been a close friend, and he what a legacy he leaves behind. He leaves that job in such a good position, and Murray State basketball was better with him on board. That's for sure.
Yeah, Neil, definitely the voice of Racer Sports, and actually Dave Winder is scheduled to be on our show again next week, so I'm sure I'll talk with him some more about it, and I'll try to get Neil lined up at some point in the future and get him to come on as well. But Neil, I always thought he did a great job calling basketball and football, and but if you're looking for a replacement, I think when you look at far western Kentucky, there are a lot of guys that are calling high school basketball games right now that do a really, really good job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's the one thing. 2 things I do want to say. I want to double down on the fact that Neil will be calling football. this fall, and I don't want that to get lost on anybody. Like, this is the first season for the Missouri Valley Football Conference. It's a big move, big boy move for Murray State football, and so he's certainly looking forward to that opportunity. I feel like I'm his spokesman, but I don't have a problem with that at all. Like, I would sing Neil's praises. I mean, he's such a wealth of knowledge and information. He's a good friend, and certainly does an incredible job. But you take a look at, he's still going to be doing that. But the second part is that job is certainly a job that in my opinion, in just my opinion, should be coveted. I feel like that you'll get some good candidates really come out of the woodwork to maybe apply for that job. They're going to want to be a part of Kenny Roth if he stays involved. Kenny's been doing color for a long time now, former assistant of Murray State men's basketball and longtime resident of Callaway County. I got a feeling Kenny, I've spoken to Kenny in the last 24 hours, but I got a feeling Kenny's still going to want to be involved as color commentator, and offering that type of service to the team. You got him, you got Dave Winder on your team. You've got Nico Yanko, athletic director, and a lot of those guys that are really passionate about sports for Murray State University. So Neil Bradley has only left behind a job that should be sought after, in my opinion. It should be something that draws out a lot of resumes, gets people to maybe sharpen up their promo tapes and their air takes and their air quality and see what they can do. I do want to say this. It was really, really funny. Somebody texted me yesterday and they were like, well, are you going to do it? And I was like, are you kidding me? I am so unbelievably unqualified for that job. I appreciate anybody that would think that, but it is absolutely, that's how high level the job is, in my opinion. This is not an amateur job. This is a job that requires the utmost professional, maybe someone with 10 to 15 years of experience, maybe more, especially as you go into the Missouri Valley. And that's the bar that Neil Bradley set. And so I'm sticking to that, and I think it's going to draw out some great candidates. And I look forward to whoever the next person is. And I know Neil Bradley will too.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton. We're talking with Ed Marlowe of the Edge Media Group. And Ed, I don't want to go throwing out a lot of names because, I don't know how many people are even interested in the job. But I can think of 4 guys right now that call sports on the radio that I think would all be great at that job. And, I know them, you know them. They're pretty well known in their respective areas. And I just think there are some great candidates out there to step in and take that job. And like you said, that would be a pretty neat position to get to follow the racers and as they continue, moving into the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I do want to agree with you. There are absolutely, some local guys. I'm not going to call anybody out because I don't know what everybody's situation is from a career perspective. But sure, I think there absolutely are 4 or 5 local individuals. And as we get closer to time to announce, I think I'd be more comfortable to say it. But I do think there are 4 or 5 individuals, and I think there probably are a couple of strong women candidates as well locally that if they were to take their interest of Murray State athletics to the next level and offer play-by-play services for men's basketball, I think they'd be able to do it. So, I really look forward to it. Again, I think the best part about it is Neil has obviously given them plenty of time, plenty of advance warning. So it's going to be a summer of auditions, I would think. And then you got to have somebody ready to go probably by October 1. You'd want to be really, really comfortable with who's going to be the next person. So, because the season gets kicked off there that second week of November. So speaking of college athletics, I do want to say super quickly for the UK fans out there, Hunter Dickinson of Michigan is visiting Kentucky this weekend. And apparently Will Levis, this is breaking news as well, apparently Will Levis, Kentucky quarterback, visited with old Bill Belichick and the Patriots yesterday. So New England picks 14th. And, of course, Will Levis is expected to go in the first round. So 2 very interesting University of Kentucky nuggets right there. I know Indianapolis is kind of taking a look at Will Levis really hard as well. Peyton Manning, of course, singing his praises. So, two interesting UK nuggets there. If UK lands Hunter Dickinson, oof. I know we say it every year, oh, hey, Kentucky's got a great squad, but, man, you get Hunter Dickinson and
that class, and that would be filthy. So,
hey, Ed,
yeah,
we're about out of time. And
I'm just gonna keep making more time.
I didn't want to cut you off, but I did want to mention real quick, that I think we're both up to date on our viewing of The Mandalorian. I'll have to get you back on here, in a month or so to talk about it. We don't want to give any spoilers out, and I don't know if you're as excited today for the series finale of Star Trek Picard as I am, but we need to get you caught up on the Star Trek stuff so we can talk that next time too.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. This is the way.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
That's Ed Marlowe of the Edge Media Group. Appreciate him coming on today. Also, thanks to Luther Bramblett from Midway University for joining us this morning. Lady Tigers softball on the air this afternoon right after the 5 o'clock news. It's senior day as the Lady Tigers host Graves County, and then Tiger baseball scheduled to be on the air Friday night. The Tigers at Paducah St. Mary in an All-A Classic sectional matchup. Winner there gets to go to the All-A State Tourney. That's going to wrap us up for this edition of the Sideline Report. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com. Thanks a lot for being with us here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton. Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. An unnamed IRS whistleblower claims the investigation of President Biden's son Hunter is being mishandled. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
The whistleblower says he wants to expose a cover-up in the Biden administration. The career IRS special agent has been investigating Hunter Biden for 3 years. He says in a new letter to Congress to both parties that federal prosecutors are preventing tax charges from being brought against the president's son.
No comment from the White House. At least 2 people are killed in a tornado outbreak in Cole, Oklahoma. Becca Ingram's car got blown out of its parking spot in Shawnee.
All the windows are shattered. There's actually a stick in the passenger door. It looks like somebody shot it with a gun, but it's a stick smaller than my pinky.
She manages a pizza place and had people taking shelter in a walk-in freezer. New unemployment claims up 5,000 last week to 245,000, according to this morning's report from the Labor Department. America's listening to Fox News.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed.